honest, Josh might have cried.
It's good I had long hair, I'll tell you.
Okay, hey Banded fam, I'm here with Year of October. Super excited to interview you guys. I've been listening to Wastelands. It's been like stuck in my head. So yeah, I really wanted to sit down with you guys. Echo Pilot turned me on to you guys, actually. So Ryan.
Oh, cool.
We love Echo Pilot.
Aren't they the best?
Yes, so good.
All right, yeah. So you guys introduce yourselves to our readers.
All right. I'm Felicia. I'm the singer in Year of October. And
I'm Josh, and I play guitar.
Sweet. All right, awesome. Yeah, so like I said, I just kind of wanted to talk to you about the album because well, we'll get there, but I saw you guys were like pressing vinyls of it, and I was like, I'm gonna have to buy that because I bet it sounds so good on vinyl. But yeah, let's just start from the beginning. You know, how long have you guys been playing together, and what was the genesis of the band, I guess? How did you guys get your start?
sure. We started Year of October when we were in college up at the University of Kentucky. And that was back in 2010.
Yep.
So going on 11 years.
So yeah, I listened through the whole thing. There's definitely like a lot of psych rock vibes, a lot of super fuzzy vibes, and so I really dig that whole sound, which is something that's like it's not like you don't hear it in contemporary rock music, but it's like you kind of have to look for it. Like it's not just like hitting the tops of the charts everywhere. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about like how did you find your sound? What was the journey towards that? Like what are your influences? That kind of thing. Like when you're kind of deciding like, okay, this is what Year of October is going to be, you know, what parts did you pull from what other artists?
Sure. I mean, I think in developing our sound, one of the main, like the biggest things that happened is we had a guitar player a really long time ago, and he just kind of dropped out on us. We had a bunch of shows lined up. Josh was actually playing bass in the band at this point, and we had like 20 shows lined up, and he was just like flaked out. And so Josh was like, well, I wrote all the guitar parts, I know them. And he bought a fuzz pedal, and I think the rest is history.
I look down from above. Hear all these things that I thought that I loved.
That I record with, but yeah, I think me switching to guitar was a big thing just because it definitely ironically forced us to groove more because we didn't have a bass player, and so rather than playing lead guitar stuff, I was having to fill in both the lead and the rhythm stuff. So I don't know, it definitely changed our sound, and that was definitely like a takeoff point, I think.
Yeah.
And then I like some influences, like I definitely have. I mean, I grew up on like Zeppelin and Sabbath, and those are like two of my favorite bands. The Beatles.
And then we love like the Dead Weather and Arctic Monkeys, Black Keys. Yeah.
Queens of Stone Age.
This is what I missed from like before the apocalypse, when you could just like hang out with bands. You guys remember the before times?
Oh my god.
Like Mad Max. So I used to work at Guitar Center, and so we would just talk about like crazy gig stories all the time, because people would like bring in gear and like tell you this crazy story about it. Like we had a guy bring in an amplifier one time that he was trying to trade in. There was a gun in the back of it, and we were like, dude,
Oh my God.
what are you doing? You have to take your weapons out of this. We found all kinds of stuff. Like, we found like porno magazines in the back of amplifiers. We found a bunch of spiders, like all kinds of like just like chaotic bullshit in the back of like amplifiers. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you guys, like at a gig? Either it can either be a gig you were playing or like a gig that you were just like going to see your buddy's band.
You think it's the Louisville one?
Oh yeah.
Which one were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the inflatable penis.
Augusta.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got two.
Two.
Tell them both, please.
Okay.
The Augusta. I'll tell the Augusta one first.
Okay.
It's shorter.
Okay.
So we played Augusta, Georgia, and awesome show. We ended up opening for a band called Possum Rot.
Yeah, and our buddies Nomad.
And Possum Rot is probably the loudest band I've ever seen in person. It was fun, but I'm really glad I had earplugs. Like, and I wear those, all the time. But like, I'm really glad I had them for that show. But anyway, it was like their last show ever, I guess.
And one of their birthdays.
Oh,
it was packed. Like,
they were going all out, balls.
probably like 150 people in this place called Soul Bar, and it's like a long rectangle. So when I was like sitting at the front, like right in front of the band, and I'm sitting there with my beer, and you can't move at all, and
Right.
'cause so many people, and all of a sudden my beer gets knocked out of my hand, and I thought somebody punched me. I look over, it was a giant inflatable penis.
It's like 4 foot long.
It knocked the crap out of me.
They're just tossing
Spilled
it.
my beer, and it just
smacked
goes,
me in the face.
and it went around the bar the entire show.
And
so
it's
like,
soaked in beer too. So it's this giant inflatable soaking
And
wet penis.
it was really gross. Like someone had like drawn on like teeth and stuff. But anyway, so that was pretty wild. And we ended up, and the show was great. Like we ended up, like nobody knew who we were. We ended up selling a ton of merch
Yeah, that
because
was a
there's so
great
many
show.
people there. So she was talking about Louisville.
Yeah, we played at a place called Third Street Dive. And we played first, right? Yeah. It was during the second band.
Another Nashville band.
Yeah. Volk, another Nashville band.
Friends.
But they were playing, and this guy had been like buying us drinks all night. He's playing pool, and all of a sudden,
Real big guy.
yeah, he's a big guy. All of a sudden during their set, we just see him. He's playing pool. He hits the wall, goes down, and then just like passes out on the floor.
Laying
So
on the
we're like,
ground.
what's
Turning blue.
He starts turning blue. So we're like, oh my God, this guy is going to die. And so, yeah, the bartender ends up calling 911, and EMTs are coming. They're walking in and out to like get this guy. And the band that's playing, they're like, to the bartender, they're like, should we like stop playing right now? And they're like, just play something slower.
They're playing soft.
Soft. Just play something softer. So they're like,
So
okay.
they're
Oh
playing
my
a really
God.
low volume. And then the door guy is like he's partly drunk, and he keeps being like to the EMTs like, it's $5
cover.
every time they go in and out. And every time he makes the joke, he looks at us and he goes, good one, huh? And like we're watching this guy, we're like, is this guy gonna die or not? Best part too though, he falls down, starts turning blue. His buddy sees him and proceeds to
Keeps playing pool.
take his shot and makes his shot, so he keeps playing.
But they got him, they end up wheeling him out on a stretcher, and blah, blah, blah. Everything happens. And like probably 30 minutes later, he comes in and pays his tab and leaves.
Yeah, he was fine. He ended up
They
being
got him,
okay.
yeah, they ended up getting him being all right. But it was freaking weird.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. And like Volk played the whole time.
Yeah.
Kind of winding back around to your music. So Wastelands just came out last October.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So you're pressing vinyl of it now, right? Or you just did?
It came out in November, so a month later.
Okay,
So
okay.
we have some, yeah.
I gotcha. Cool. So is this the first record you've actually like made vinyl of, or is it something that you typically do? Is the second one?
Second one.
Yeah, we put our second record, Golden Days, out on vinyl. It's
That's
like,
right. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then we didn't do Trouble Comes, the one in between those two records. And then we did Wastelands.
So what made you decide to do that? Because it's expensive and it's kind of hard to find places that do it. And then who did you work with to actually get the pressings? Like, who did you go through?
I mean, we love vinyl. That's our preferred way to listen. So we really wanted to do it on Trouble Comes, and we may eventually do it on that record too. Just do like
thinking about doing a pressing
with it. But we really wanted to do it with Wastelands because we were just so proud of this record. And so I did a lot of research, and I found a company that had really good reviews and a great price. And it's Atomic Disc, and they're out in Oregon, I believe.
Oregon.
Yeah. And so they did a great job. It sounds amazing, and it's like an interesting packaging. Like, it's not a full.
It comes with a poster.
Yeah, a double-sided poster.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not like a full folder. It's just like a half back sort of thing. Yeah. And yeah, but they did a great job, and it sounds amazing. I love their pressing of it.
Yeah, we were thrilled with it, and we just thought like with Trouble Comes, we ended up making like a music video and like doing we did some other things with the same money, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
It's like with Wastelands, we were like, we'll just make our own music videos and and get the vibe.
Yeah.
Which Felicia did all our music videos. They turned out great. So
yeah. Well, guys write and record Wasteland? Was it like right before you released it, or is it something that's been in the barrel for a while?
Well, we kind of did a lot of it in 2019 after James joined the band. Josh and I had a couple of the songs. Actually, Buried Redux, the last song on the album, is actually a take from our first.
Yeah, it's anyway. We had a couple songs, and when James came in, we really finalized those, and we finished writing it in 2019, and we started recording it late summer 2019, and finished recording it like March 2020, and then it was mixed in by June, and then we had it sent out to vinyl, and yes, pretty much like 2019, 2020.
Yeah, we would write like 3 songs and then go on tour and play them and get them like super tight and then come back. We record at our house. And so we would come back and record like those 3 songs that we've been playing on the road and then write some more and then go out and play those.
So do you guys have an engineer? Do you like engineer and mix it yourself and stuff?
He does.
Yeah, I do all the stuff.
Awesome.
So, yeah,
that's cool. So that's another thing that's a little bit different between y'all's music scene and the music scene here, and it might just be, you know, that your music scene is more condensed because Nashville is smaller than Fort Worth, but there's like 100 times as many musicians there, you know. But most of the people in Fort Worth will hire an engineer for their records, and from what I'm finding, just talking to you guys and people in your scene, is almost everyone does it themselves in their house. So I think that's an interesting thing to, see the differences between like locational music scenes. Cause like I said, like Fort Worth has a great scene, but it's just very different. So that DIY approach, I think it keeps the artist so close to the final product of what the music is, because even if you have the best engineer in the world, like they're
might
going to
not.
interpret it their way, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Exactly. Mhm.
you know, by doing it yourselves, you know what you want it to sound like. You know what it's supposed to sound like, right? So I think that's cool. I think it's part of what keeps, music that comes out of Nashville so genuine and like gritty and raw, is that you guys are all doing it 100% yourselves. So that's super neat.
And it was neat with this one too, because we would, when 2019 we toured full time. In 2019 we played like right under 200 shows.
Oh my god.
So it was great because we would guy.
She was biting my feet. So.
Is she a Siamese?
Yeah.
We have a Siamese.
Aww.
Hello.
Oh, what's her name?
Sky Blue Sky, the album by Wilco.
Is her full name?
Full name.
I was just listening to Wilco this morning.
That's awesome.
Love Wilco.
Love Wilco.
They're like headlining Moon River this year. Moon River.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's killer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were playing. It was great because James joined the band, and we just had like basically like a burst of songs and like a big. So it was nice because we would write like 2 or 3 new ones, and then we would go on tour, play like 30 shows, and
right.
like and on those and include those new songs in the sets. And so we get them down really tight, and then we record them, and then we would finish up 2 or 3 that we've been working on,
right?
Tour on them, and then record them. So it's a great process because like you do it a little chunk at a time, and by the end, or by the beginning of 2020, we had a full 10-song album. So and
then the world ended.
Yeah. So.
Now that things are opening up again, and it's possible and safe to play shows, what has that reintroduction into the scene and live music been like for you guys?
We played our first Nashville show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Our first Nashville full band show.
Okay.
And it was amazing. Like,
where was it?
At the East Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Echo Pilot actually came.
They came out and hung out. Yeah. But it was so good. There were a ton of people out, and like everyone, I felt like everybody was paying attention.
Yeah.
Which is not always something that happened before.
Yeah.
But it was really nice. Josh might have cried.
It's good I had long hair, I'll tell you. It's like definitely we've got a bunch of new songs too. So we're playing this song no one's heard before, and it's like the heaviest part of the song. And I definitely got pretty emotional to be on stage again. And I looked, like I said, like I had long hair, so I just let it get in my face to cover the awful face I was making.
Every day there's a Soweto wrong show.
I met Robert Plant and Greg Allman in the same week at my job.
You literally had your almost famous experience.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I worked at a record store down here when we first moved down here in 2011, FYE. And they were like, Robert Plant.
FYE.
Yeah. I worked in college, transferred down here. But they were like, yeah, Robert Plant comes in sometimes. And I was like, yeah, Robert Plant comes in sometimes. And so it was like late one night and Robert Plant came in and I was like, oh. And then I pretended like I didn't know who he was because I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. And so I was my sarcastic self. He wanted the George Harrison documentary and I showed him and he was like, why don't you have it? And I was like, I don't know. We're closing in a month. And he goes, all good things must come to an end. And I said, yep, they must. But he was so nice. And then Greg Allman came in and bought $300 worth of CDs, and it was amazing.
That is so surreal. Like,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of my friends have like weird. So, like I said, I worked at Guitar Center for a few years. So, you know, the one I worked at in Arlington was across the street from the Cowboys Stadium, which is where all of the national acts play. So every now and then, like some giant artist would come in, but mostly, it was people that knew members of Pantera in the 90s, because they're from Arlington, so like everybody had a Pantera story. And especially Vinnie Paul would come in sometimes, like, and then he got really reclusive like right before he died, and he would just like drive by and like look in, and we were like, just come in, dude, like just everyone knows you here. But yeah, all these people had these, like, I called them one-time dime stories, because it was like these big bikers would be like, oh yeah, man, one-time dime. And they would tell these stories that literally sounded like gospels from the Bible, because they were like, yeah, man, one-time dime showed up at this party and there's no beer, and he brought this keg and he's filling up everybody's cup, and I swear, man, he turned some water into Coors Light. Like, it was that kind of shit. Every single week some dude would come in and tell like the apostles of dime, like every single week. And it was like, but it, like, that Arlington was Dime's towns. Like, everybody did know Dime, I mean, like, he was a drug dealer, so you know what I mean? Like, everybody really did know him.
It's what went jam. Wolves howl in the distance, in the darkness, it's called Nick.
See our other.
Oh yes, absolutely. The pet section of.
We got
oh
3.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Penny.
This is Money Penny.
Oh my gosh, it's like a tortie. We have a tortoise shell and a Siamese as well.
Yeah, and then we have an orange tabby named Doug.
Is he the craziest? Orange tabbies are crazy.
He's pretty chill.
She's
the craziest one.
Yeah, she's giving a
bossy.
crazy face right now. She's like, I'm out of control. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Our Siamese is like obese and kind of like a little bit cross-eyed. So like you see her coming from a mile away, and she's like, she has like duck feet, like her back feet turn out a little bit like this. So she like stomps when she walks, and it's so freaking funny.
This one, Penny is she's obvious, she's really good, but she definitely like gets what she wants. She's spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah?
a Facebook group called This Cat is Chonky. And that is probably the only reason that I'm still on Facebook. But you should join it.
Yeah, that I'm gonna take that recommendation. That sounds like a day brightener for sure. Well, awesome. Hey guys, thanks so much for introducing me to your pets and telling me all your ghost stories and stuff. I had so much fun talking to you guys. It's been an absolute delight.
Yes,
Thanks
this was wonderful. Us. Thank you for having us.
I hope to see the show in Clarksville.
Yeah.